what's up? Okay, so I'm back with Scorpio and Sagittarius moon sign compatibility. This is an interesting one, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Okay. These two are neighbors in the zodiac wheel. So when it comes to neighbors in the zodiac wheel, it's a good thing. You know, it's the signs are next to each other, so there is like this camaraderie that they share. You know, because even though their approach in this particular situation, the moon sign, so their approach to relationships is not the same. They have this way that where they can vent about it, look into it, look at it, you know, chit chat, whatever, kick it, talk about it, and be like, oh dang, like wow, like, you know, have conversations over this, you know, just be able to kind of see or be some sort of support over the way one person approaches relationships and their emotions. You know, it's something about it to where it's like, even if they don't really understand each other, they have this camaraderie, and that's usually what friends are. It's like something about the person where you're just like, oh man, you know what? I really like this person. I don't mind being around this person. Like, they bring some sort of insight to my life. We have fun together. Blase, blase, right? And you try to keep things at this cordial level. And this is Sag and Scorpio. You know, the good aspect to this is that Sagittarius, you know, doesn't really like to be judged and doesn't necessarily like to be limited in how they express their emotions. And like if they don't want to talk about something and they want to look past it, this is the thing. Scorpio is not necessarily going to judge them for it. Scorpio is not going to necessarily judge them for the way that they handle things. It'll be like, okay, you know, like this Sag, and you know, Sag is just being dramatic or whatever. So Scorpio can look at Sagittarius as being dramatic, but this is the thing. On the flip side, Sagittarius looks at Scorpio as being dramatic, even more dramatic, because Sagittarius looks at Scorpio as Sagittarius looks at Scorpio like, you know, if they don't get their way, then they clam up or they become stubborn. But when they try to ask Scorpio, well, what is it that you want? You know, what is it that you want to eat? What is it? What's going on? Scorpio doesn't really want to communicate about it. If they don't want to communicate about it right then, they don't want to communicate about it. And so Sagittarius is like, okay, you know, Scorpio is just being dramaful with the way that so they both are looking at each other like, okay, yeah, you're being extra, you're being dramaful with the way that you handle things, right? I feel like they both, like I said, they both cannot want to or care to discuss things that is happening or has happened, unless, see, Scorpio may not discuss it with you, but if they have a real big problem with something that you did, they're going to sting you, meaning inflict some sort of feeling onto you, some sort of act or response onto you to make you feel how they felt. Whether it's embarrassed, humiliated, sad, hurt, mad, frustrated, whatever, jealous, whatever, they could go there. They could go there. Sagittarius is, you know, I mean, what my point is that I'm trying to make is that if Scorpio is like, okay, you know, I'm not being bothered about this. If there's something that's happening that Scorpio don't choose to pay attention to, then Scorpio will be like, not even mention it, not even say anything, just be like, you know, maybe take note of it. So this part helps their part of the relationship to where everything don't have to be mentioned or even revisited sometimes. It's kind of like, okay, well, you know what? But it's like that, but from two different places. Sagittarius is just like, okay, well, whatever. I'm not even, you know, I moved past that. Okay, yeah, you're mad, but I moved past that. I thought we talked about this already. We don't have to keep revisiting it. Scorpio is more like, I'm not going to say nothing because when I really do get you, and you gonna know about it. Okay, so it's, and I know how I can get, and because of that, I'm just gonna choose to, you know, downplay this one. And I feel like they can go and share new experiences, because Scorpio is about change. So Scorpio is going to bring some sort of new emotional change to the relationship because of just the energy that it brings. And Sagittarius is willing to go try new things and introduce new philosophies and information and places to Scorpio. And Scorpio, being the curious sign that it is, and it does like to learn stuff, is going to love this. That's where their bond is. That's where they start to share in their intimacy in the relationship. Now, this is where things go haywire and go left or right, depending on how you look at it. Sagittarius does too much for Scorpio. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Sagittarius literally does too friggin' much for Scorpio. Like, Scorpio don't like this randomness, like, okay, well, have your space. But this randomness, like, getting up, going, and then not really knowing. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So you said you was going to the mall when you left here. How did you get to the ice cream shop? And with who? You see what I'm saying? You been where? With who? Where? With who? Let me stop. But seriously, it's too many things that don't add up. And Sagittarius is like, what are you talking about, dude? Yes, I said that I was going to the mall. The ice cream shop is right there across the street. I wanted ice cream, and that's where I went. Also, when was you gonna let me know? I wasn't. Maybe later when we were talking, like when I got home, or if we were to talk, I didn't know I had to check this with you. And this becomes an issue, because Sagittarius is gonna feel like Scorpio is controlling in the relationship. Scorpio is controlling. Even when, let's say it ain't even, let's say it goes this deep. Let's say it goes further, where Scorpio was like, okay, well, you went to the ice cream shop and you didn't tell me. And Scorpio is acting a certain type of way, because Sagittarius, they're feeling like Sagittarius is acting like they don't care about what just took place. Sagittarius is going to feel like, okay, now you trying to make it seem like you trying to control the way I feel and how I present my feelings to you. And you want me to apologize. Like, I'm not about to do that. Okay? And Scorpio doesn't really appreciate Sagittarius like overlooking stuff that they done told you about already. Because Sagittarius would easily be like, oh my God, like, what flavor ice cream did you like again? And Sagittarius and Scorpio moon could be like, well, I already told you. Evidently you weren't listening. Like, thinking about, like, oh, you should know that. Starting to double guess or double think the relationship, because they'll feel like, okay, yeah, this person, Sag moon, may not even really care, find me important, because they will prioritize things about me, you see. And this is where conflict, and this is the conflict of interest here, because Sagittarius is clearly not going to understand. They're going to feel like I said, Scorpio moon is limiting them and is going to taking things too far. Like, it's an issue from going from the mall to the ice cream store. You taking it too deep. Then Scorpio moon may, start doing things differently. And Sagittarius moon is like, okay, I don't understand. So you been like, it'll be something random, like Scorpio moon to come home real late or alter something in what it usually does. Where Sagittarius moon is like, wait a minute. You don't usually come home this late, or you don't usually go to that place, or you usually tell me when you do this, or you make that change or whatever. Now all of a sudden you're not. And Scorpio moon's like, like what? I didn't think it would be a big deal. When really Scorpio moon is trying to make Sagittarius moon see how it felt. Like, okay, this is what you did to me. Sagittarius moon ain't going to like it. Also, Scorpio moon could feel like Sagittarius moon is being too preachy, and like, because Sagittarius moon might not be trying to control Scorpio moon, but maybe if Scorpio moon is venting about the way it feels or something like that, about something that happens, Sagittarius moon might try to give them, instead of just listening to how they feel or being like, dang, like, I see how you feel though, for real, like, that's crazy or something. Sagittarius moon might try to get some sort of advice, or become preachy, too preachy for Scorpio moon. Scorpio moon is like, dude, just come on, man. Let's just smoke a joint and I'm like, let's just not do the right thing right now. Because remember, the right thing may not necessarily, the right or wrong thing in these particular situations may not necessarily be a bad thing or a good thing. It could be like more like a moral thing. Like, yeah, I flicked this person off and, you know, behind his back or whatever. And Sag moon is like, well, why would you do that? Like, maybe you know, you could have just did this, this, and that. You know, you got to be positive and blase, blase. So it could be something as simple as that, you know, and this really interferes with their compatibility. Like, these two, it's an iffy one. I will say that it's an iffy one. You have, I would like to see other compatibility here. But other than that, this is Sag moon and Scorpio moon compatibility. But a flat light.